everybody. Welcome to the AHCB Credentialing Exam Process Demystified presentation. Hopefully this is where you meant to come to, because we're really excited to hopefully answer a lot of questions. I'm Celia Bauer. I'm a physical therapist and an HPCS, and I am on the AHCB board, and AHCB is the abbreviation for the American Hippotherapy Certification Board. And we would first like to thank our major conference sponsors, Chaff Hay, Hello Note, and the AHCB, and also a big thank you to our clinic sponsors for making this presentation and this conference possible. So thank you very much. Like I said, I'm Celia Bauer. I'm a PT, HPCS, and I'm on the HCB board, and I will be monitoring the chat for questions. So we encourage you to type in your questions, and we will do our best to get to them as soon as possible in the chat. If there's a lot that are related, we will try to address them at the end of the presentation. And if time gets away and we just need to wrap things up, we are recording the chat so we can contact you individually and answer your questions, because we want to make sure everybody's questions get answered. So please type them in and we will get to them the best that we can. Okay, thanks. And we'll just move ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. We just wanted to review the conference logistics. So please make sure you sign in, type your name in the chat box so that we can verify that you attended, and make sure your name is on your video, preferably your name and your discipline. And please mute yourself during the session unless you are asking questions, but we encourage you to use the chat for questions. This is just so that it's not as distracting. And then we ask that you do not log off during the breaks, but to stop your video and mute it. The hosts are identified by host for easy identification. And the course evaluations and CEU certificates will be handed out at the end of the conference. So hang in there with everybody. And there's no picture or video recording. You will have access to this for a month after the conference, so can access things that way if you have any additional review that you need to do. Okay, thank you. And Carol?
Hi, everybody. I'm Carol Hugel. I'm a PT and a hippotherapy clinical specialist, and I'm also the chair of the American Hippotherapy Certification Board. Thank you for attending this presentation. I also want to let you know that we will have a couple of other AHCB members that will be participating in the chat, and that those people are Linda Fries, who's an OT from Florida, and Meredith Bazar, who's a speech and language pathologist from New York. We have nothing to disclose. We receive no financial payment for our services to the board, nor for this presentation. So our learning objectives for today are hopefully you'll be able to describe the purpose of the AHCB and certification, to describe the two exams that AHCB offers, including the prerequisites, and to understand the application and renewal process. And I'm hopeful, Celia, that we can do a survey here. This is an example of the type of question that you might see on the AHCB Hippotherapy Certification exam. So what we'd like for you each to do is to go ahead and look at this question. Which of the following is the most important to consider in a potential horse to be used for hippotherapy? So go ahead and answer. Okay, we'll give you a few more seconds. And Celia, go ahead and end the polling, and let's look at the results. Okay, so the majority of you got the answer correct. The correct answer is number 3. Please understand that all of these are things that you would be considering as you are looking at a horse. The idea here is that the question is the most important for hippotherapy, and that is definitely movement quality. Okay, Celia, if you can stop that sharing. Okay, I do want to point out that in the very first statement of AHA best practice statement, it does state it is highly recommended that therapists become either AHCB certified or a hippotherapy clinical specialist. And this statement does refer to all therapy professionals on your treatment team. All right, give me 1 second. I need to hide some things here so that I can see everything on my screen. Okay, so with regards to certification, Sutherland and Leatherman posed the question, does certification improve medical standards? And they state that it promotes personal and professional growth in the industry. Certification also provides a measurable standard of knowledge for the provision of hippotherapy. It provides the public, your potential clients and their families, third-party payers, other professionals, a way of selecting the providers for services that incorporate hippotherapy. And also it provides formal recognition of individuals who have attained requisite knowledge for their respective certification. There's also research that validates the benefit of recertification, which encourages continuing education, thus helping to ensure certified individuals are keeping up to date. When the AHCB was developed, the purpose was to develop and maintain a method to validate the therapist's knowledge through an objective testing tool. We continue with that purpose, but we now have 2 objective testing tools. The AHCB was developed in 1998 as the certifying body of the AHA. It was formed by members of the AHA board at that time. Last year, AHCB became an official subsidiary of AHA Inc. when AHA became incorporated in Colorado. And as a subsidiary, AHCB has their own set of bylaws, policies, and procedures. And now no board member serves simultaneously on both the AHA and AHCB boards. We currently have 9 AHCB board members consisting of all 3 disciplines and spread out around the US. All board members are hippotherapy clinical specialists and all serve as voluntary members without compensation. So you can see that the AHA and AHCB are completely separate. And so if there are any questions with regards to certification, you want to contact AHCB and not AHA, because if you do direct your questions to AHA, they will just forward them on to us. Here's a list of the current AHCB board members, and you will see that, again, all 3 disciplines are involved, and it has truly been my honor to serve with each of these board members. They are truly distinguished professionals. So the American Hippotherapy Certification Board collaborates with the Professional Testing Corporation. So you hear me refer to our board as AHCB, and you'll hear me refer to Professional Testing Corporation as PTC. But we work with them and we've worked with them since its inception, since before this exam was even being used. We work with them for item development, and when we refer to the items, we're referring to the questions on the exams. We have biennial item reviews, and then we have biennial exam reviews on opposite years, all working to ensure validity, fairness, and accuracy of all the questions that you'll see on the exams. The two exams are the AHCB Hippotherapy Certification Exam and the Hippotherapy Clinical Specialist Exam. So the AHCB Hippotherapy Certification Exam, or you'll hear me refer to it as the certification exam, is formal recognition of basic knowledge. So individuals who successfully pass this exam, excuse me, may acknowledge themselves as AHCB Hippotherapy certified, but have no use of professional initials. We have seen some people use AHCB following their name. Obviously, that stands for the American Hippotherapy Certification Board. It is not a credential. So there are no initials that go after your name. This exam was first offered in the fall of 2012. It is now offered twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. There's 150 multiple choice questions on the exam, and there are 3 hours to take the exam. As far as the HPCS exam, it's formal recognition of advanced knowledge and clinical reasoning. And individuals may use the initials HPCS as part of their professional title. It was first offered in 1999. It's offered in the winter and summer. And there are 250 multiple choice questions, and 4 hours are allowed to take the exam. So items are solicited from credentialed therapists, AHA board members, AHA faculty, AHCB board members. So anybody who has successfully passed the exam is encouraged to submit items. What AHCB then does is to review and revise the items to ensure clarity, proper use of terminology that's in line with the AHA education, available reference, and correct content code. Each item includes a STEM or question and 4 responses, 3 plausible answers and 1 correct answer. And there may be scenarios to provide background for multiple items. In 2019, the AHCB reviewed all of the items in the certification exam to ensure up-to-date terminology. And then in 2020, the AHCB reviewed all of the HPCS items and truly revamped every question to ensure not only terminology, but that every one of them was clear and that we had a reference for each one. I do want to point out that since there are requirements for the certification exam to take AHA Part 1 and Part 2, that the 2 individuals on this board that are also AHA faculty have nothing to do with the item development, item review, or exam review for that exam in order to ensure separation of education and certification. We do typically an HPCS exam review every other year, the day prior to the start of the AHA conference. So obviously that didn't happen this year because of this being virtual, but we had just reviewed every single question just last year. Typically, all AHCB board members participate in this. We're fortunate enough in the past and hopefully in the future to work with the woman who has become the Professional Testing Corporation president, Vicki Gremmelsbacher. And during this review, we each take the exam. We each look at all of the questions. We do review the statistics for the pass rate if the items have been used previously, and then we modify the items as needed for relevance, clarity, and terminology. Who's eligible to sit for the AHCB Hippotherapy Certification exam? Individuals that have been licensed or certified in the US or the equivalent in other countries as PTs, OTs, SLPs, and PT assistants, OT assistants, and speech and language pathology assistants. I do want to point out, though, that SLPAs have very varying allowances based on their state practice acts. So if you are an SLPA, you would want to check and see if your state practice act allows you to work in a setting that incorporates hippotherapy. Also, just know we do get a lot of requests. A lot of people want to be AHCB certified, even who don't have who don't have one of these licenses or credentials. And since we are the certifying arm of the AHA, we do use the AHA description, and we just need to let people know that they need to be one of these disciplines in order to be able to sit for the exam. Have to have at least 1 year of full-time experience in practice. And I did just today actually get a question from somebody with regards to this. You don't have to have worked full-time for a year. You just have to have a collective 2,000 hours to be able to sit for the exam. Also have completed AHA treatment principles parts 1 and 2, or the equivalent graduate courses. Currently, we're not aware of any, but we do know that in the past, there was at least one university that did offer a certification in hippotherapy. A minimum of 25 hours of one-to-one direct treatment incorporating hippotherapy prior to the application deadline, not prior to sitting for the exam. And also be experienced and comfortable working with horses and able to independently ride at the walk and the trot. As far as HPCS, this is for licensed PTs, OTs, and SLPs, not for assistants. Required to have at least 3 hours of the equivalent of full-time experience. There are no specific educational requirements. Remember, this exam was developed in 1999, and at that time they did not make any requirements. We haven't changed that. Unfortunately, at least there's been one individual who thought that this meant that this would be an easier exam, and that could not be further from the truth. So it is strongly recommended that individuals do consider taking the AHA Foundations courses and even additional connection courses. Need to have a minimum of 100 hours of treatment one-to-one with your patient incorporating hippotherapy within 3 years prior to the application deadline, and be experienced and comfortable working with horses, independent skilled riding at the walk, trot, and canter. So what's on these exams? So for the certification exam, again, there's 150 multiple choice questions, and it's broken up into 4 different areas. Program administration includes such areas as starting a facility, documentation, record keeping, and reimbursement. Basic horsemanship includes conformation, horse selection, horse psychology and behavior, horse stable management, equipment, riding, training, and horse handling. Posture and movement principles include systems, environmental factors, motor control, therapeutic qualities of the walking horse, gaits, movement, variations, and effects of handling. And hippotherapy application is indications and contraindications, patient evaluations, treatment considerations such as equipment, horse handling, patient positioning, treatment outcomes, and documentation. And we do have references that are provided in the candidate handbook. So now we have another question, another idea of an item that you would find on the AHCB Hippotherapy Certification Exam. So Celia is going to put this one up as a survey. So, which of the following is a sign of stress in a horse? U-neck, on the forehand, tail held high, or pinned ears? And it looks like we've gotten some pretty quick responses here. A few more seconds. And Celia, let's go ahead and end the polling. And it looks like the majority knew this answer as pinned ears. And we'll go ahead and stop sharing these results. As far as the HPCS exam, we have 5 different areas. So we've added history, theory, and evidence, which is going to include theoretical framework, research, best practice. And all of the other topics are going to be similar to the AHCB certification exam, but requiring a much greater breadth of knowledge and clinical reasoning. And there is an extensive list of references that you may use to help in preparing for the exam. All right, so here's an example of an item that you might see on the HPCS exam. So as you can see, there's more wording here. I'm not going to try to read it for you. Just go ahead and take a moment to read this and answer. Okay, a few more seconds. Okay, Celia, go ahead and give us the results. And we did have the majority of people answer correctly. Number 4, preferred pattern of behavior. All these possible answers are components of the hippotherapy conceptual framework, which is addressed in detail in the Part 2 course. And we'll go ahead and move on. I want to apologize. I think you might have been hearing all the dings of text that were coming through. It's my granddaughter's first horse show today, and I'm missing it. So I think my family's trying to send me videos, not knowing what's going on at this moment. So to get to an application to sit for one of the exams, you're going to download a candidate handbook from Professional Testing Corporation. And the way you can get to it is by going to the AHCB website, hippotherapycertification.org. And then you would go to the appropriate exam page. And at the bottom of the information page, you'll see the link to Professional Testing Corporation. It's been pointed out, excuse me, that our candidate handbooks look pretty similar. So make sure you look at the top of the page that you are getting the correct handbook. The certification exam next deadline is coming up April 14th for a testing window of May 15th through the 29th. And then there's another exam in the fall. So you want to determine your desired dates that you're going to sit for the exam, and then note when your application deadline is. And you'll note that the testing windows start and end on a Saturday. And we do have the 2022 dates already up on the AHCB website. So if you're thinking of for future, you can check out those dates. The HPCS winter exam for 2021 was held in February, and we do have one new HPCS as a result of that. And the summer deadline will be July 7th for a window of August 7th through August 21st. And then the following winter will, the application will be in January of 2022 for February exam window. When you are applying, you're going to find the application at the end of the handbook. It's going to include demographics and statements of professional practice experience, experience incorporating hippotherapy, and statement of horse experience. And then you're going to attain signatures from the operating center director or somebody similar to that if you don't have that, and a credentialed riding instructor for your riding skills. You will be submitting your application to Professional Testing Corporation. Currently, the application has to be mailed, but soon it will be able to be completed online with some uploading of documents. And you'll include a copy of your license or certification, your proof of AHA membership if you're looking to pay the AHA member fee, copies of your certificates of completion from your AHA Parts 1 and 2. So make sure you hold on to those. And then payment. Currently, the cost for the certification exam is $380. HPCS is $405. And I will tell you, AHCB works so hard to keep the costs down. We get a very small amount. The majority of the fees go to Professional Testing Corporation for all that they do, and then to Prometrics for the actual delivery of the exam. Once you receive your scheduling authorization from Professional Testing Corporation, you're going to make an appointment with Prometric. That is who PTC partners with to actually deliver the exam. Make sure that you make your appointment as soon as possible to ensure your desired date. There are other people taking other tests that are vying for those computers at the testing site. We're providing you with the Prometric information here, but also know that it's in your candidate handbook. You're going to contact Prometric if you need to reschedule your test appointment within the testing window. So say you sign up for the start of the testing window and you realize that's not a good day. As long as there's availability, you can reschedule within that testing window. If you need to cancel, you need to contact them. If you can't figure out where they're located, where your test site is, contact them for that, as well as for any other questions you might have related to the appointment or the testing site. Now, if you need to transfer to a new testing period, you're going to cancel with Prometric, but then you're going to contact Professional Testing Corporation. They will allow you a one-time transfer to the next testing period. You won't have to submit a new application. You won't have to submit new fees, but you will be charged a transfer fee of $210. If you fail to report for the exam, you'll forfeit all fees and a new application with fees will be required. Once you've got that application submitted and everything's good and you've got your dates, be preparing for the exam. So you want to review the content outline in your candidate handbook, review the references, know where you're going to take the test. And if you have any questions about the exam itself, contact Professional Testing Corporation. So know with regards to HPCS, there have been courses, preparatory courses. These are offered by individuals. They're not offered by AHCB, nor are they offered by AHA. And I also know that therapists for each exam have contacted others via Facebook or other social media to find study partners. Here's another item that we're going to, this is going to be the last one, another example of what you might find on the HPCS exam. So Celia's going to put up this survey. Please know that you can move this survey box over because you'll see that they couldn't fit all of the words from the question, from the item, into the survey box. So read it from the slide, but then answer it on the survey on the poll. Just everybody know this is all anonymous. I think we could have chosen to not be, but we did not want to make this at all, challenging for you. So just throw out an answer. Nobody's going to know what you put. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, Celia, let's go ahead and look at the results. This was a trickier question. The majority of people did get it correct. Again, remember that there are 3 plausible answers and one absolutely correct answer. So yes, this was a little more tricky. So just know that the benefits of positions can be found in your Part 1 manual and your PowerPoints. And we'll go ahead and move on. On test day, check and make sure that if you're having inclement weather, that your site is actually open. And I say that because during this last HPCS exam, there was a therapist scheduled to take the HPCS exam in Texas on the day that the crazy snowstorm hit. And she could have rescheduled in the window, but it was at the end of the window. And so she is having to take her exam in the summer. Obviously, this was something that was completely out of her control. Allow plenty of time to get to the testing site. Make sure you take your ID. There will be a locker. You'll use this for your purse, food, medicine, drink, cell phone, because you're not going to be able to take any of those things into the computer testing room. Also know that headphones should be provided. They should actually be at your desk, but feel free to ask for them if they're not. There are going to be other people taking other tests, and there may be some ambient noise in the room. So ask for those if you need them. And using Prometric now allows us to receive an unofficial test score. So you will know at the end, you will have an unofficial test result. If you find that you passed, yay, but don't yet use the credential until you've heard from either AHCB or Professional Testing Corporation, who will be sending you your test results and your test scores. And do know that there's no limit to how many times you sit for the exam. You just need to submit a new application. So once the test window is over, Professional Testing Corporation is going to go over the results. If there are items, and this has happened, that were missed by all or most of the candidates, they're submitted back to AHCB for review. And AHCB either determines this item is fine as it is, or maybe we're going to allow more than one answer to be correct, or we might just delete the item. So obviously this may benefit individuals with regards to the scoring. AHCB does send, PTC does send us, the AHCB, the results of everybody that sat for the exam, pass and fail. But I do want everyone to understand that there are only 2 individuals within our board who know all of those names. So it is very anonymous with regards to any individuals who don't pass. If you pass, celebrate. To pass the certification exam, you need to get 120 out of the 150 answers correct. You're going to receive your scores from PTC. You're going to receive a certificate from Linda Fries from the AHCB. And again, you can describe yourself as AHCB Hippotherapy Certified, but there are no initials after your name. Your certification is good for 5 years, and you'll be listed in the AHA Hippotherapy publication, as well as AHA and AHCB websites. So I know this is a lot of information here. This just kind of shows you that we maintain the exam results from, in this case, October 2012 to October of 2020. The overall pass rate for this exam is 91%. And for HPCS, 200 out of the 250 questions need to be answered correctly. And again, you get your scores from PTC, you get a certificate and pin from AHCB. Jan Goodman is the person who does that. And you may use HPCS after your name, certification recognized for 5 years, and listed in the publication and websites. And I'm just going to kind of run through here the fact that it's been going since 1999. So we have lots of statistics regarding the HPCS exam. Not going to lie, this is a tough exam. The overall pass rate for this exam is 53%. So how do you best achieve success? Looking back at the last 10 HPCS exams, we did find that individuals who took a review, 46% passed versus 54% who had not taken the review. If you've cared for your own horse, you have a 60% chance. Formal riding instruction, 62%, and those with recognized riding instructor credentials had an 83% pass rate. But just like Mike Studer referred to today, we need failure at times in order to attain success. So, consider getting back up in the saddle and taking that test again. We've never had the need for a revocation of certification, but I just want you to realize that there are rules with regards to that. As far as renewal is concerned, again, your renewal is good for 5 years. There are forms on the website for both exams, and also know that the individuals responsible for each exam, Linda Fries for the certification and Jan Goodman for HPCS, they do their utmost to connect with you and remind you of your renewal. However, the onus is still on you to make sure that you get your renewal application in. So you have a choice. You can retake the exam. You can, for certification, we make it very simple. All you have to do is maintain your AHA membership throughout the 5 years and attend at least one AHA conference. Or you can take 50 hours of education related to equine subject matter. And the the renewal amount is only $125. We do try to keep it very minimal. HPCS, there is more required, again, because this is a higher level certification. So we do require written evidence of significant scholarly activity related to treatment incorporating hippotherapy. This can include research, publication in a juried publication, teaching or developing workshops for AHA, or 120 hours of continuing education that includes equine subject matter, hippotherapy related matter, and just, related to your own professional discipline. And the renewal is $250. We're not going to do a survey for this one. I just throw this out there for you all to think about. True or false, the use of level 1 certified or level 2 certified are appropriate credentials to use prior to taking an AHCB exam. So the answer is false. There is no such thing as level 1 certified or level 2 certified, but it is amazing how many people use this term. We used to refer to people as level 1 therapists or level 2 therapists, but that term isn't used anymore at all. But you're not certified after taking these courses. You receive a certificate of attendance. The only way to get certified is by sitting for one of the exams. Also want to point out that you'll never see a true-false question on an AHCB exam, and you'll also never see answers such as all of the above or none of the above, which makes writing the questions a lot more difficult. Don't expect anything from this slide other than to show you that there is a great comparison of both of the exams on our website. So if you need a quick way to look at them, please go to the website and you'll find this. All right, as far as contact information, again, go to our website for information, hippotherapycertification.org. If you have specific questions, feel free to contact me. This is my personal information. So hippopt@aol.com is my email. And I always say that describes what I do and how old I am. And then also my phone number. I don't pick up when I don't recognize a number, and I have a generic message. Please leave a message and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Celia Bauer also put her email information here. This is not on your PDF of this handout. So if you want Celia's email, take this down now. And then, like I said, Linda Fries is responsible for the certification exam and renewal. And so that's her email, and Jan Goodman for HPCS. All this information is also on our website. And then Professional Testing Corporation information and Prometric. You'll find this in your PDF. You'll find it on our website. And our list of references, including the references regarding certification and recertification. And thank you all so much for attending this presentation. Hopefully it has answered some questions that you've had, but perhaps there have been more, and we're going to go ahead and address them now. So I am going to end this slideshow.
I do have a couple questions that I thought were probably a lot of people would be interested in hearing about, and was kind of a bit much to address in the chat. One of them was what has changed with testing in regards to COVID, and any changes that way. So
okay, so yes, so our first certification exam last year was canceled, the one that was typically held in the spring. But other than that, there's nothing that's been different with regards to the exams now. They are all being offered. Obviously, they're ensuring everything that is needed for social distancing and people wearing masks and all of that. But the exams are taking place. We realize that the biggest holdup right now is that most people can't yet take the AHA Part 2 in order to qualify to sit for the certification exam. And we do understand the frustration related to that.
Okay, and also if you log on to either the AHCB website or the Professional Testing Corporation website and search for AHCB, it would bring up the two different handbooks for the two different exams, and they do have a COVID policy listed there if you want more detail on that. Those handbooks are going to be your best friend, your best guide. They are a wealth of information. It's a lot if you print it off, but I'm a paper person, so it really helps me because I can mark it up and tab it or whatever. Another question was, is there extra time for people who are taking the exam and it's not their primary language? So foreign language considerations for the exam.
So I have to say that I have not been asked that question before. And so that would be a question for Professional Testing Corporation. So I would contact them prior to submitting an application. And I think another question just came up.
Yes, so one that just came up on the chat is, do you know testing locations in advance, and is it limited or abundant?
I think it's pretty abundant. You know, it's way, way, way better than when I took it in February of 1999, where we had 10 sites around the country and it was paper and pencil. And yeah, that was a lot more challenging. No, they are much more abundant, but you can certainly contact and find out where the closest one is to you.
And I think that's part of the whole process once you've submitted your application, and then they get back to you and you are actually registering for a certain location and things like that. All that information pops up. If you're in a remote area, Alaska, Montana, overseas, things like that, then you probably could email them and get a little more information that way. Okay, one other question. This relates to the hours for the conference. And we may not know some of this information, but it was asked about the number of conference hours, and if prior conferences were recorded and they go back and watch those, could they use those, and how do they prove that, and those logistics?
Yes, I think that individuals can sign up for taking individual presentations from the previous AHA conferences. And so AHA can confirm with us that you did those. I can tell you that if you participated in both the pre-conference and this conference, it was a total of 25 hours. It was 8.5 for Mary Mastery and 16.5 for this conference.
I think the rest are probably easily addressed on the different websites or through the handbook. So, but if anybody else has any questions, please mark it in the chat so it's recorded in black and white and we can make sure to get back to you.
I do see a question about, for diabetics, can you take a snack in? And I do think that Mayor replied to you, but this could potentially be of interest to a lot of people. You can't bring a snack into the computerized testing room, but you can leave that room to go out and get whatever you might need. The thing is I don't think your clock stops. I think that's all part of your time.
I just looked on the website just for I typed in diabetes actually, and it doesn't list anything on the website. I would definitely contact them about special accommodations or anything like that, but the website is very, very clear about finding a site. It outlines exactly how to do it.
Yeah, the website is good. And Professional Testing Corporation, I mean, they've got it down. They've been doing this a long time. And again, the candidate handbooks are really going to be helpful for you.
Another question that's come up a couple of times is, what qualifies as a certified writing instructor for the sign off. So in the handbook, if you go to the end where the application is, and this is all about to be done online for an online application, but right now it's still paper, but the qualification wouldn't change. So we give some examples of acceptable credentials for the statement of work experience and the person that is signing off on that. So some of the examples are United States Pony Club, United States Dressage Federation, PATH International, AHCB, CHA, BHSAI. So there are some, I know I went through those really fast, but there are examples of that. And I would say if none of those answer your question, just to email us for further information, because we might need to look into it further.
Right. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for all those questions. Every one of those was excellent. And hopefully we have made this a clearer process for you. But again, contact us. You know, Celia, I know I can speak for Linda, Mayor. We're all available to you. Just let us know if you have any questions. And I know that we're probably right on the hour here, so we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and we'll see you soon.
Before